Space just changed forever. A 98-meter tall rocket powered by 7 roaring engines thundered off the pad and shook the planet. It wasn't SpaceX this time. It was Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos's dream project finally turning into a serious space contender. And trust me, what happened during this launch is way bigger than it looks. Because if Blue Origin can pull this off consistently, it might completely rewrite how we access space and who gets to go there. So let's break down exactly what happened, why it matters, and how this could change the future of the space race. This is TechBug, and today we're diving deep into Blue Origin's biggest move yet, the New Glenn rocket. All right, let's start with the basics. The New Glenn rocket is named after John Glenn, the first American to orbit Earth. It stands nearly 100 meters tall, almost as high as a 32-story building, and it's powered by 7 BE-4 engines in the first stage. These engines run on liquid oxygen and liquefied natural gas, a cleaner, reusable design meant to reduce cost and complexity. The rocket's massive fairing can hold payloads as big as 20 moving trucks. That means New Glenn isn't just big, it's built to compete with the heaviest launchers on the planet. This launch marked the rocket's first full orbital test flight, a moment Blue Origin has been working toward for almost a decade. At liftoff, those BE-4 engines ignited with over 3.8 million pounds of thrust, and the rocket slowly began its climb into the sky from Cape Canaveral. Inside the fairing was a Pathfinder payload, a test satellite known as the Blue Ring, used to evaluate systems and prove orbital capability. But the real test wasn't just reaching space. It was about showing the world that Blue Origin could reuse rockets just like SpaceX does. The company planned to land New Glenn's first stage on a massive drone ship in the Atlantic named Jacqueline, after Jeff Bezos' late mother. The booster made its descent attempt but didn't quite stick the landing this time. Still, the main mission objective was achieved, reaching orbit successfully. That single success means Blue Origin's rocket technology is no longer just PowerPoint slides. It's real hardware, and it works. So why is this such a big deal? Let's talk about context. For years, the commercial space launch market has been dominated by one name, SpaceX. Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy have been doing most of the heavy lifting. Literally, NASA, the US Space Force, global telecom companies, everyone's been booking with SpaceX. But New Glenn changes that balance. It's built to lift massive payloads, rivaling even Falcon Heavy in capacity. And with reusability baked into its design, it's aiming for rapid turnaround. Multiple flights from the same booster, just like the Falcon 9. More rockets mean more competition. And more competition means lower launch costs, faster innovation, and better access to orbit. Now, here's where things get interesting. Blue Origin isn't just building rockets. They're building a space ecosystem. Think about it. They're developing the Blue Moon lander for lunar missions, working with NASA on Artemis, and planning orbital infrastructure projects. The New Glenn rocket is their backbone, the transportation system that makes all those future plans possible. From launching satellites to delivering modules for future space stations, New Glenn could become the workhorse that powers Blue Origin's vision, building a road to space for the benefit of Earth. But let's not sugarcoat it. Blue Origin's road to this moment was long and rocky. They've been criticized for delays, secretive development, and slow progress compared to SpaceX's aggressive pace. The BE-4 engines, for instance, were years behind schedule, delaying both New Glenn and United Launch Alliance's Vulcan rocket. Investors and fans began to doubt whether Blue Origin would ever actually launch. So this flight, this single successful orbital test, is more than just a technical milestone. It's a credibility reset. It tells the industry, we're here now, we're ready to compete. And that competition is heating up fast. SpaceX has Starship, an even bigger, fully reusable system. ULA has Vulcan. Rocket Lab has Neutron. And now, Blue Origin has New Glenn. Each of these rockets represents a different philosophy of space access, but they're all chasing the same goal: lower costs, higher cadence, and sustainable reusability. Let's take a closer look at the engineering. New Glenn's first stage is reusable up to 25 times, far more than most competitors currently manage. Its diameter, 7 meters wide, gives it more room for larger payloads, ideal for massive satellites, deep space probes, and even future lunar cargo. Upper stage, though expendable for now, uses advanced avionics designed to integrate easily with reusable upgrades down the line. The BE-4 engines themselves are also a big deal. They're the first American engines in decades to use methane fuel at this scale, and they could pave the way for next-gen propulsion systems across the industry. Now let's talk about the bigger picture, the future. Blue Origin plans to fly multiple New Glenn missions per year, with contracts already in place for NASA, Amazon's Kuiper satellite network, and private companies. If New Glenn can demonstrate consistent reliability and recovery, it will immediately become a major player in the global launch economy. That means cheaper satellite deployment, faster mission schedules, and expanded access to orbit for smaller nations and startups. And yes, it also means Jeff Bezos' space company could start catching up to Elon Musk's empire. But there's also a philosophical difference here. SpaceX wants to colonize Mars. Blue Origin wants to industrialize near-Earth space, using the resources and energy of space to support life back on Earth. In Bezos' vision, millions of people could one day live and work in giant orbital habitats powered by solar energy, while Earth remains a preserved, peaceful planet. It sounds like sci-fi, but New Glenn is step one in making that reality even remotely possible. And here's something most people don't realize. Every new rocket that reaches orbit successfully makes the entire global space ecosystem stronger. More launch providers mean redundancy, innovation, and freedom for future explorers. It's not about one company winning, it's about humanity having more ways to reach the stars. So what happens next? Blue Origin will review all the data from this first mission, analyze the performance of the engines, the upper stage, and the guidance systems, and prepare for the next flight. If things go well, we could see a second New Glenn launch within months, followed by commercial missions later in the year. Future versions will likely include crew capabilities and expanded reusability features. In other words, this is just the beginning. For India and global space startups, this is also big news. More competition among launch providers means cheaper access to orbit. Great for small-sat companies, universities, and developing nations. And it adds momentum to the growing global interest in space tech, from ISRO's Gaganyaan program to private rockets like Agnikul and Skyroot. Blue Origin's success lifts everyone. So here's the takeaway. After years of silence and skepticism, Blue Origin has finally proven it can play in the big leagues. The New Glenn rocket is real, it's flying, and it's ready to shake up the space industry. SpaceX isn't losing sleep just yet, but they're definitely watching closely. Because the race to space isn't over. It's just getting started again. This is TechBug, and if you love this breakdown, smash that like button, share this video with your fellow space nerds, and subscribe for more deep dives into rockets, innovation, and the future of tech. Because the next era of spaceflight has officially begun. And trust me, you'll want front row seats.